Midweek delivered a returning hero and a classic Cali Classico. So what would Saturday and Sunday have to offer as rivalry week continued in MLS? 14 fixtures with no let-up in drama, which are all coming your way, starting at Red Bull Arena.
Divided by the Hudson River, and only 2 points separated them in the east.
Aaron Long turns it home. Oh, the Kings! What a job to freak it all out. Back of the net! Wow!
Commentary comes from Stuart Robson and Phil Blacker.
There's Christian Cáceres. Shot packed, plenty of power. That was matched by the save from Sean Johnson.
You have to say at the moment the Red Bulls look much sharper, both physically and mentally at the moment.
Castellanos. It is noticeable, although NYCFC do play the possession game, just how quickly their attacking players are prepared to get back and try and win the ball back, do their defensive work. Defensive work required here as it opens up for the shot, which Johnson can't hold, and Dylan Nealis has put over the top. Big opening for him, and he snatched at it somewhat.
Yeah, I wouldn't say it was a great save from Johnson. He pushes it back out into a dangerous area.
Castellanos has made the run at the other end, and he is going to get on the end of this. Tati Castellanos trying to catch out Coronel. Only the merest of gaps to aim at there, and he couldn't quite squeeze it in.
Rodriguez had a little look at him here. It's a good run. Spun in behind the defenders. You can see what he's trying to do, bend it into that near post.
One thing we have never had in the history of the Hudson River rivalry is a goalless draw between these two sides. At the moment, it is NYCFC creating the majority of the opportunities. Could be another one here for Castellanos, who got his head to it. Maya takes it away from Tyler Magno. Castellanos goes for the spectacular, though. Incredible effort. Improvised impressively and almost caught out Coronel, but the goalkeeper was equal to it.
Well, he said he can score goals from nothing. That was the case there. Great technique.
This is Callens. Amundsen. Santi Rodriguez. Again, Castellanos is his target, and he will get on the end of it. That's what he does. The league's top scorer at it again. Half a century of regular season goals in Major League Soccer for Tati Castellanos.
He gets in behind the defender, Sean Nealis, and you just knew he was going to score. It's the movement, the understanding where the ball's going to be played, and then the finish to match.
Maxi Morales come up with a little bit of magic. Morales, so close, there's Callens, and it's off the line. Maxi Morales again. The second won't quite go in for NYCFC. Amaya. Coronel a long way out of his area, has to hurry back. It falls at the feet of Justin Hack. He's got to be tempted here to have a go. It was a valiant go. And the headed clearance is only as far as Hebert, with the chance to put an exclamation line under a vital victory for NYCFC.
Maybe the last chance here.
And the victory is New York City FC's. The boys from the Bronx have come to New Jersey and beaten their greatest rivals here for the first time in 5 years. The New York Red Bulls 0, New York City FC 1.
The Philadelphia Union began week 21 ahead of the New York teams at the top of the East. The New England Revolution were their visitors in search of a first win in 4 games. And Dylan Borrero almost gave Bruce Arena's side the lead inside 6 minutes. Despite the early promise, it was an hour before the first goal arrived. Still, it was a strike worth waiting for, as Gustavo Bo continued his standout form.
Gustavo Bo, 1-0 New England.
7 goals in 8 games now for the Argentine. 5 minutes later, though, he missed the chance to give the Revs a commanding lead after being picked out by Calles Gil. And as so often happens, they paid the price. Kai Wagner delivered a 10th assist of the season, which was converted by another in-form striker, Mikel Uhre, for his 3rd goal in the last 3 games. That was the catalyst for the Union's comeback.
That's a push, that's a penalty. Penalty coming up.
Having won it, Daniel Gazdag got back up to take care of it too.
The step up, Gazdag goal, 2-1 Union.
The home side were just as grateful to Jacob Glesnes, though, who cleared Bo's header off the line in stoppage time. On another day, he might have been celebrating a hat-trick and 3 points. Instead, it was the Union maintaining top spot in the East. For Arena and the Revs, the search for victory goes on.
Following back-to-back defeats, Montreal were keen to use the Canadian Classique to return to winning ways. But Toronto keeper Alex Bono was in a defiant mood. Kai Kamara foiled with some help from the crossbar. Toronto were under pressure for much of the game, but held the home side at bay until midway through the second half, when Romel Kyoto was happy to accept the congratulations for what was eventually deemed to be an own goal from Lucas McNaughton. That brought a rapid response as Ayo Akinola found the net, only for the raised offside flag to explain why he'd found so much room as he raced through the middle of the Montreal defence. Some encouragement, though, for Bob Bradley, and his team's prospects of a comeback improved 9 minutes from time when Kamal Miller raised his foot too high for the referee's liking and collected his 2nd booking of the evening. The clash with the keeper left Montreal a man light for the final 9 minutes. They shrugged off the dismissal and continued to push forward. Mason Toye soon breaking away, intent on making the points safe. Neatly done, but a fortunate escape for Toronto, who may feel their luck is about to turn with Lorenzo Insigne's debut imminent and fellow Italian international Federico Bernardeschi incoming. Here it took James Pantemis' tremendous save from Shane O'Neill to see Montreal safely to the finish.
Just behind Montreal were Orlando City, who began their visit to Atlanta strongly, capping a good start with a brilliant free kick 10 minutes in. Mauricio Pereira, the architect of an unstoppable moment of magic. This rounded off a 3-game home run for Atlanta, who needed another hour's play before equalising.
Atlanta are level. It's Purata, the new arrival from Mexico.
Just what coach Gonzalo Pineda had been waiting for. And his side then spent the final 10 minutes laying siege to the visiting goal. But neither Luis Araujo nor Joseph Martinez was able to make that pressure count.
Somehow, Orlando emerge intact.
It was the same story when substitute Dom Dwyer took aim, looking to score against his old club. Instead, keeper Pedro Gallese showed his class. And when Peru's number 1 did get beaten, the post came to his and Orlando's rescue.
And Martinez against the base of the upright.
The drama continued right to the end of stoppage time, when Alexandre Pato threatened a smash and grab at the other end.
It's Pato! Oh my word!
But the same outcome meant both sides had to settle for a point each.
Unusually, Cincinnati arrived in Columbus as the leading team in Ohio, and it wasn't long before they turned up the heat in the Halles Real derby. Brandon Vazquez found Alvaro Barreal, who called Eloy Room into action inside the first 3 minutes. Frustrating for Pat Noonan, once an MLS Cup winner with Columbus, and all too aware his former club has a striker in ruthless form.
This one into a great area, there's Cucho again! Columbus take the lead!
The newly signed Colombian's fourth goal in just 3 appearances that have seen him forge an instant understanding with the creative Lucas Zelarayan. Towards the end, it was the Armenians' turn to take centre stage. Obina Wabodo raised his arms in a desperate bid to atone for a weak clearance and handed Zelarayan the chance to put his own name on the score sheet. Cincinnati couldn't respond, shut out for the first time in 14 league matches as Columbus leapt ahead of them in the standings.
Christian Latanzio's Charlotte FC occupied the final playoff position in the East at the start of the weekend. They travelled to Miami, hunting for a third straight win, and made a little bit of history. Jordi Reyna scoring the season's fastest goal so far after 26 seconds. The 5th time this year there's been a goal inside the opening minute. The Peruvian's first for the club in MLS was followed up in style and against the run of play before half-time with a real goal of the week contender.
Reyna looking to curl it in. Reyna, what a strike! His second of the match.
That lead remained intact until shortly before the hour, when Robert Taylor showed again why he's quickly becoming a fan favourite at Drive Pink Stadium.
Stunning goal! And Miami pull one back.
Miami's new DP, Alejandro Pozuelo, made his debut and looked to have set up Gonzalo Higuain for a well-taken equaliser. But the striker had edged beyond the defensive line a little too early and would have to wait another 10 minutes before he could celebrate again. On this occasion, the timing of the pass and the run were both perfect, and so was the finish.
Gonzalo! And this time he makes no mistake. The flag stays down. It's all level.
Going into stoppage time, Charlotte was still set to take a point from the game, but a late substitution from Phil Neville was about to pay off.
It's Emerson Rodriguez! From 2 goals down, Miami now have to lead at the death.
The first time in club history they'd come back from that deficit to win.
Below Miami in the east, the Chicago Fire hosted a cross-conference meeting with the Seattle Sounders, who were in a hurry to end their poor run. Jordan Morris's early efforts suggested a busy time in store for Gaga Slonina, but it turned out to be a fairly quiet match for the keeper behind his generally tight defence as Chicago went on to take control.
Navarro, the chance, Sheehan! What a goal for the Chicago Fire! He gets his second in a week.
When Chihos scored against the Columbus Crew, Chicago blew their lead, but they bounced back to beat Toronto, and thanks to Slonina thwarting Morris again, inflicted Seattle's 3rd successive defeat, a worry for Brian Schmetzer.
After a statement El Tráfico triumph,
And Cifuentes with the header. Chicho Arango.
LAFC's superstar era beckoned. But would they be silenced in Music City?
Sean Davis to shoot. Top corner. It's Hani Mukhtar. All-star. All gold.
David Prutton and Dan Roebuck are your commentators.
Lovely flick from Vela for Hollingshead here, looking to find Arango at some stage, and he still might get there. He does! Oh, yes! Well, he didn't really look on. It was tight, it was awkward, but he spun really well.
That touch, of course, from Vela that opens things up to start with. Just watch this from Arango. You see a wonderful bit of miscontrol which allows himself to be in a position where he can take the shots on. Or a bit of genius if he's meant it. It's not the cleanest strike, is it? But absolutely no matter whatsoever when it ends up in the back of the net.
Mukhtar moves away. Novitz will curl in. Zimmerman, Sapong look for a bit of room. Oh, good concentration and hands for Maxime Crépeau. Now then, Drew Fisher has been asked by Alan Chapman to go and have a look at this.
It's a hefty pull. Sanchez, the man that slips and ends up bringing him to the ground.
Well, Elie Sanchi can't believe it. And it all adds up to an opportunity here for Nashville to get back on terms. Hani Mukhtar for Nashville against LAFC for 1-1. Inside of the post and in, that will do. the Hosar level.
It is exactly the man you want to step up. Oozing confidence, isn't he, Hani Mukhtar? The all-star setting off fireworks and flares within the Nashville Stadium.
Let's see what Arango can do here from the get-go. Now it's with Carlos Vela, who's moved to the right flank, and eventually he's clipped back inside the box by Escobar. Here is Vela once more on his favoured left side to curl towards the back post, and the header down hits the post, and the follow-up from close range by Cifuentes goes in. And 45 seconds into the second half, it is LAFC that have found the rhythm straight away in Music City.
Wonderful ball in from Carlos Vela. How many times do you say that over the course of a season? Cifuentes, the man in the right place at the right time, on his own little hot streak, isn't he?
Vexel Mukhtar, who's it going to be? German surely will pull rank here. Zimmerman waiting, so is CJ Sapong. Loaded up into the air rather than away by Chiellini. Back inside the box, it's flicked here towards McCarthy. Oh, he gets it all wrong. Dax McCarthy.
Definitely not on the team for his goal-scoring prowess, but given the technical capabilities of Dax McCarthy, that is an absolute sitter that he's missed there. That reaction from Mukhtar really does sum it up.
Nashville free kick, Mukhtar standing over this. 5 in yellow, far post here. Zimmerman waits. CJ Sapong, Bunbury as well, is curled inside netting.
He does go for it, Mukhtar. I don't think this is an underhit. He's aiming for the smallest gap in the goal, isn't he?
LAFC inflicting Nashville's second home defeat of the campaign.
It was a hard-fought match. This is a tough place to play. Nashville has a very physical team, and they make it difficult to break them down. And in the second half, our press and our defensive structure had a little more energy to it, which I think made the difference in the game. And I'm hopeful that our squad next week brings the same energy from the first minute on, and not just the 45th.
A point ahead of LAFC at the top of the West at the start of play, Austin FC were eyeing a derby double after beating Houston in midweek. It wouldn't be easy. Paul Arriola rattled the post as FC Dallas reminded their opponents it was only a few weeks since they'd shared the points in the reverse fixture. Austin have won all 4 matches since then en route to the summit, and Sebastian Driussi was just inches from making them even firmer favourites to extend that run. There was a prize on offer for the winners at Toyota Stadium. The Copa Tejas is contested between the 3 Texan clubs, and just before half-time, the home side had one hand on the trophy.
Across to Arriola, and it's a great team goal, and it's a lead for FC Dallas late in the first half. Paul Arriola.
But FC Dallas have a costly habit of letting leads slip, and 12 minutes from time were punished for conceding possession cheaply as Diego Fagundes levelled the scores. While a point would be enough for the visitors to clinch the Copa Tejas, they badly wanted all 3 to maintain their pace at the top of the West. A Fagundes free kick ramped up the pressure, with Danny Hurson denied superbly by Martin Pars, who recovered to make another save before the referee's whistle came to the rescue. Austin were disappointed by the draw, but delighted with their first ever trophy.
Completing the Texan trio, the Houston Dynamo aimed to bounce back from that defeat to Austin as they travelled to California. Griffin Dorsey grazed the post with the first chance of the second half. He's only scored against other Texas sides. Jackson Ewell's first ever MLS goal came against this particular Texas side 3 years ago. He got another moments later.
There's the shot! Goal! San Jose! Jackson Ewell!
However, the captain then played an inadvertent part in the Dynamo's equaliser. His pass put Paul Marie in trouble and allowed Fafa Pico to set up Sebas Ferreira, who'd only just come off the bench. Individual mistakes would prove costly in the second period, but Hector Herrera managed to get away with this one thanks to a brilliant clearance from Tim Parker, who denied Jeremy Ebobisi. It proved the best chance for Alex Covello's men to extend their unbeaten run to 4 matches. Because 5 minutes after the visitors' first goal, Torleiva Olfason completed the turnaround. Darwin Quintero came out on top in a battle by the corner flag, delivering the assist to the Iceland under-21 international, who's now chipped in with 4 goals. That's more than Maurice managed in the 3.5 years of his Quakes career, and the French defender was denied by Steve Clarke. The first home defeat since the opening day for them, the first time the Dynamo had come back to win away from home since October 2018.
Years of hard-fought encounters mean there's no love lost between Real Salt Lake and Sporting Kansas City. SKC's John Poulskamp was on his toes to prevent Pablo Ruiz from underlining the current gulf between the sides in the Western standings. But it appeared to be just a matter of time before RSL would break through. 5 minutes after the interval, that moment arrived.
Sergio Cordova, the header, and RSL takes the lead.
A brave and fully committed header from the Venezuelan, which made it all the more surprising that a much easier chance went begging soon after. Though Cordova squandered the opportunity, there wasn't much to suggest RSL would be made to pay. Pablo Mastroni's side became even more comfortable as SKC accelerated their own downfall when Roger Espinosa clattered into Jasper Löffelsend right under the nose of the referee. A challenge deemed worthy of a straight red card that will add to the feisty folklore surrounding these fixtures. The dust had barely settled before the home team made the extra man count. No way back from there for the depleted visitors, who may find things no easier next time out at home to pace setters LAFC. Justin Merrim's inviting cross allowed Jefferson Savarino to add the gloss to an emphatic first win in 5 for Real Salt Lake.
Wayne Rooney was all smiles as he watched his new DC United squad in Minnesota, but it would be another former Everton hero celebrating at the end, as Adrian Heath's home side delivered the win.
Here's Amaria in towards Reynoso! The deftest of touches, the deadliest of finishes.
An eye-catching way to kick off a 4th victory in 5 games. The Loons are finding their feet again after a difficult spell in June. And the same two linked up again just after the restart.
He fancies it tonight!
Rooney looked like he didn't need reminding. It was now 1 win in 10 in MLS for the capital club.
Gyasi Zardes played more than 130 matches for the LA Galaxy before a goal-laden spell with the Columbus Crew, and he's just starting to find his feet in Colorado. His dazzling run perhaps deserved a goal against his former club, while the Galaxy may still be wondering how William Yarbrough was able to react quickly enough to parry Derek Williams' volley. That fabulous save demonstrated the Rapids' determination to end a sequence of 6 games without a win, and just a minute later they took a huge step in the right direction.
Diego Rubio, he wanted it, he got it, and he's finished it.
While the Galaxy was still reeling, Brian Acosta delivered a corner that Zardes could hardly have met better. There was bad news on the way. Keegan Rosenberry had strayed offside. The effort was disallowed, and Zardes was denied the distinction of scoring in back-to-back games for Colorado for the first time. Temporarily denied, because in the second half, quick-thinking Jonathan Lewis lined him up with another chance.
Zardes! This time, it is 2-0.
Winless away, the Rapids now need to show this form on the road.
To our final game, and after seeing off one Cascadia rival last weekend, Portland were up against another as Vancouver visited Providence Park. Brian White propelled himself and them into an early lead with an impressive third of the season, one his coach Vanni Sartini certainly enjoyed. He was equally impressed with 20-year-old keeper Isaac Boma, who was making his full debut and denied Claudio Bravo from close range. But with 10 minutes to go, he found himself facing his first penalty in senior football when Felipe Mora was pushed over by Tristan Blackman. Clumsy from the former LAFC man, and a chance for the Timbers to become the first team in MLS history to score a penalty in 5 successive matches.
Mora scores! Down the middle! And they pull back level, it's 1-1.
That point for Portland takes them back above Seattle into 8th in the West, just outside the playoff positions. LAFC regained top spot from Austin, while Nashville dropped to 5th.
The top 5 in the East remain unchanged, with Columbus up to 6th after their derby win over Cincinnati, who fall a place below the Crew. Miami, meanwhile, climbed to 9th.
It's with the comeback kings that we leave you. And the decisive Derby Day moments.
New York is blue.
This copyrighted broadcast of Major League Soccer may not be retransmitted, reproduced, or rebroadcast without the express written consent of Major League Soccer.